Welcome to day one of my junk model car craft. So we're going to do the craft in two sections today, and the first part you're going to need a bottle, you're going to need some sellotape, a pen, you're going to need scissors for cutting the bottle, you're going to need something sharp with a sharp point on it, so this might be a bit that a grown-up does for you, and you're going to need two wooden skewers like kebab sticks and a little bit of blue tack. That's for the first part. So you're going to start with your bottle, and what we want to do is cut the top and the bottom off your bottle. So I'm going to just draw a quick line around here to show you where I want you to cut. And then around here, basically where the bottle stops being straight, you just want to cut. And then in the middle of the bottle, I want you to draw a overly egg shape. And you can draw a line down like that. That's how we're going to start. I'm going to cut along these lines and that middle bit. The trickiest bit is the starting bit. So use your scissors, and then once you've got a little hole in there, you can stick your blade in, and it's normally easy at that point. So you can see that you've now got a tube. You've cut the top and the bottom off, and you've cut the little hole in the middle, and you've got a line down there. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so now you've got your bottle with the bits cut out of it. You're going to just overlap these front two bits where you've cut through there to make the bottom of it a bit narrow, because this is going to the front of the vehicle. And then just use tape. You might want to stick both sides so it doesn't bounce back up again. Okay, so you've now got a cylinder that is slightly smaller at this end, and the next bit you're going to do with your sellotape is you're going to squash your cylinder a little bit, so it's not such a round, deep cut, it's going to be more like that. So get your sellotape and fasten it at the back like that, and the same at the front. And you've got your basic shape. You can use some more sellotape just to strengthen that, just wrap it round, because we want to reinforce this shape ready for the next part of the craft. I've wrapped sellotape around a little bit, and I've also used sellotape to just block off that end and block off this end here. This is the base of what our car is going to be built on, and this strengthens the shape here. Right, that's that bit done. Oops, there we go. Right, for the next little bit, this is a bit a grown-up needs to do, because you're going to use your sharp point, and you're going to make holes in the side of your car to stick your axles through for your wheels. The bit that joins the wheels together is called an axle. So you would definitely need a grown-up to do this bit. So this is where we want the skewers to go through, and this is the kind of safest and best way to do it. I get a big blob of blue tack or plasticine, put it on the other side, and you get your sharp thing. It could be a little knife or a sharp end of a pair of scissors, and you just twist and twist and twist, and eventually it will go through the plastic like that. And then you can take your plasticine out, oops, and you've got your little hole for your skewer to go in there. Then you need to do your other 4 holes in the same way. So there you go, I've got my 4 holes. Get the sharp end of your skewer and poke it through. Now these are just going to stay in your car for the rest of the craft. And that should be the last thing that you need a grown-up for. Everything else should be fine. Now if you're worried about the sharp ends, just snip them off with a pair of scissors. There you go. And then that is the first part done, ready to move on to the next bit. Right everybody, now comes the messy bit. Pop your car there. So for this part of the craft, you're going to need some newspaper, you're going to need some glue, some water, something to put it in, and something to mix it with, because we're going to make some paper mache. So to make paper mache, you need to get your newspaper, and you're going to tear it into strips. You need to tear it, not cut it, because that makes the edges blend in better. So you need to get a great big pile of newspaper. Right, perfect. That should be good. Now we need to make some glue, and we're going to dilute it down for this part. So you're going to put a bit of PVA in your pot, and then you're going to dilute it about half and half, because it only needs to be very thin really for this part of the craft. So put a bit of water in there, give it a stir with anything you have to hand, and you should have a watery kind of messy glue. Now you are going to cover your whole car in the gluey newspaper strips. So you've got to not mind getting messy for this, but you've got to dip it into your glue, and then you're going to stick it onto your car. All over until everything is covered, even the bits of tape. When you put it on, make sure you smooth it with your fingers. In the water. If you get to your hole, if you get to the hole in the middle, just bend it under like that. So that's where your driver's going to sit. Okay, so you're smoothing it on, smooth all the edges down to make it as smooth as possible. When you get to the axles, just kind of go round them. It doesn't matter if they get glue on them now, because they'll unfasten later when we give them a bit of a wiggle. Now, when you've covered all over with glue, including the front and the back, and you've smoothed all the edges down, do the same, but this time use white paper. This is going to be our final layer. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Get our paper, and we're going to cover it all over with strips of white paper. And I forgot to tell you as well that I have moved it onto a shiny surface, because this is quite wet and gloopy, and it will go through if you're just leaning on newspaper. So you need something waterproof underneath, if you don't mind getting your table gluey. Oh my gosh, I'm so gluey and messy. I told you it was messy, didn't I? So here we go. We've covered our car in white. The reason we've done this is so that when we paint it later, we won't have any newspaper showing through. Now this takes maybe 1 or even 2 days to dry. So you're going to put it somewhere on top of your Polly Pocket. Don't worry if it sticks to it, because we're going to peel it off later. Put it somewhere warm, maybe on a windowsill, and leave it to dry, and we'll come back to that another day. Well done, you finished day 1. Right, welcome to day 2 of our junk car craft. Our car's still drying, so we're focusing on making the wheel today, and this is what you're going to need. You're going to need 4 lids of a similar size. Now these are milk lids, because they're a bigger size, which is what I want for my car. You're going to need some thick cardboard, the sort that you get parcels in, packaging boxes. Pen, some sharpish scissors. You're going to need PVA glue. You're going to need some black paint, something to pour it into, a little mixer, and something to paint it with. Now, because it's going to be really messy, like a lot of my crafts, I'm doing it on some plastic as well, because I'm going to leave it to dry on the plastic, and then I can peel it up after. I won't have any bits of newspaper sticking to it. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to get one of your lids, and you need to draw around it like that, and then you're going to do the same thing 8 times, so that you have 8 circles on your cardboard. Right, when you have your 8 circles, you're going to cut them out, of course. Okay, so I've cut out my circles, all 8 of them, and I've got my lid, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue in each one. And then this is quite fun. You're going to get your circles and push them into your lids, like that. This is going to be the inside of the wheel. You can't see it, it's just making a bit for our axles to stick into. There we go. And then when you've done that, you're going to do the same thing again with your next 4. So you're going to put a little bit of glue on to hold it in place. There you go. There you go. There you go. And then push the next circles inside. Hard as you can, so there's no bit sticking out. If you can help it. And they can be drying while we're painting them, which is the next part of the craft that we're going to do. Right, we're now going to paint our wheels black, and we're going to mix a little bit of PVA and a little bit of paint just to help it stick properly, because they're plastic. There's your PVA. There's a little bit of paint, say about half and half. Don't forget the PVA dries clear, so it's not going to change the colour of the PVA. Change the colour of the paint, sorry, make it grey. It will just make it stick better. So then you get, once you've given it a stir, you get your brush and you're going to paint all over your wheels. You need to do the sides and you're going to need to do the inside as well, because we don't want to leave any bit that isn't black. Even though this is the inside, you're not going to see it. Let's have it all black. And then when you've done it, leave it that way up to dry on some plastic so that you can peel it off tomorrow, ready to put on your vehicle. Welcome to day 3, and we get to paint our car today, which should be nice and dry now. It should be firm all over. You've still got your little kebab sticks. Don't worry if they're a bit stuck, because if you give them a little pull, they'll be able to move easily. Now you choose the colour. I'm going to paint my car red. And then you just need to paint it all over, because it's got a nice white background. It should go on beautifully. There you go, finished. And we're going to leave that to dry. Leave it on something plastic so it will peel off, because it's painted underneath as well. And tomorrow we're going to be adding something more to our car. Well done, everybody. Hello and welcome to day 4 of our car craft. It's looking good, isn't it? So we've got 2 bits of the craft today, and we need to leave time to dry in between, because first we need to put a second coat of paint on our car. And that's because when you paint it once, you can still see brush marks and it's not a very solid colour. So we're going to paint it all again, leave it to dry, come back in like an hour, and then we'll do the second part of the craft. So get painting, and I'll see you back here when your car's dry. Okay, for the second part, we're going to decorate our wheels and our car, which is now nice and dry. So you're going to need 3 bits of paper. I've got some black paper, some white paper, and I've got some foil, or you can use silver paper. I've got 2 lids. So I've got one lid which is the same size as the wheels, and I've got one that's smaller because we're going to cut smaller circles out. I've got pencil, a black pen, and glue stick, scissors, and a ruler, just normal kind of craft things. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut some silver hubcaps for our wheels. So you're going to use your smaller circle. You're going to draw around it. Then you're going to use your scissors and you're going to cut round that circle and do that 4 times, so you end up with 4 silver circles. So now you've got your 4 silver circles and your 4 wheels. You're going to just go ahead and stick your foil circles in the centre of your wheels to make nice shiny silver hubcaps. So now you've got your 4 tyres and they're all ready. We'll be sticking those on tomorrow, so you can just put them to one side. And we're going to go and make our stripes for the side of our vehicle now. So we're going to make stripes that go down each side. So to do that, we're going to need our white paper and a ruler. And we're going to draw a stripe, draw a line down the side, however wide you want your stripe to be, like that. And then you want another one. Try and make them the same. And then you're going to cut those 2 strips of white paper out. Okay, once you've cut your 2 white stripes, you're going to measure them along to the side of your car. You can cut them using your scissors. And then you want to use your glue to stick them onto the side of your vehicle. You want it to be kind of a bit along the top so you can see them. Smooth it down and then go and do it on the other side as well. So now that I've stuck my white stripes on, I'm going to cut a thinner black stripe and stick the black stripe of paper down the middle of the white stripes, exactly the same way that you did the white stripes. So use your ruler, use your scissors, cut them out, and then stick them on with your glue stick. So there you go. There's our lovely stripes. We're now going to make a number for the front of our racing car. So you're going to do a big, remember you've got your 2 bottle tops. The big one, I want a black one, and your small one is going to be white. So you draw around those, and we'll have 2 circles, a black one and a white one. Cut those out for me. Right, you're now going to stick your white circle in the middle of your black circle. Then with your black pen, you can write a number, any number that you like. I think I'll do a number 7. Write your number 7 number on. And then you're going to stick your number. You can do any number, obviously, that you want. And you're going to stick your number on the front. Make sure you put lots of glue on there. On the front of your racing car like that. There you go. That looks fab. Now we've got one thing left to do, and that is to make the headlights. All right, to make our headlights, we're going to have silver circles with white bits in the middle. So you're going to use your lid, your bigger lid, to make 2 silver circles like this, which you're then going to cut out. And you're going to use your smaller lid to cut out, to draw 2 white circles and cut them both out. There you've got your 2 circles, and you're going to stick your white circles. This is the one bit of your headlamp in the middle of the silver circle, and then do the same with the other one. Okay. Then you're going to stick your headlights onto the front of your racing car. And that is today's craft. We're going to leave that now, and tomorrow we're going to put it all together and then give it a nice shiny coat to make it look like a glossy racing car. Well done, everybody. Hello children, welcome to the final day of our junk car craft. So she's got 2 things to do today. That's to put the wheels on, and then we're going to varnish the car and give it a nice shiny coating. So I've got, to put the wheels on, I've got some pliers because I need to snip these shorter. You might be able to wriggle them out and cut them with scissors, but I'm going to use a tool like this. And I've also got a sharp knife, and I've got some PVA glue in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick your wheels up. Remember where we put the cardboard inside? We're going to use our knife to make a little sharp hole in the middle. Now, we're not going to go through the plastic, we're just making a hole in the cardboard. So you can just use the point of scissors, it doesn't have to be that sharp. It's just pushing through the cardboard, it's not too hard to do. Ask a grown-up if it's too hard, but it shouldn't be too difficult to do. And when you've cut holes in all of your, when you've pushed holes through all of the cardboard, they'll look a bit like this. You see the little tiny hole right in the middle? Okay, then we're going to snip our wheel axles shorter. So you can check that they work, because we want them to be turning when the wheels are on them. So you can push them in and out before you snip them. You don't want them too short, so they want to be a little bit out from the car. There you go. And then we'll have on the other side. And obviously we're going to have to glue the wheels onto the axle, otherwise they'll fall off. So until the glue dries, don't start driving your car, because the wheels will fall off. Let's snip that. Let's snip that. Whoops. And then we're going to get a little bit of glue where you kind of want a bit of a blob on here. And you could maybe put some in the middle of where your hole of your wheel is going to be. And then you're just going to push your wheel on like that. Now it is going to be wobbly until the glue dries. But that's okay. Now the same for the next one. You're going to stop it now, okay? There we go. There's our last wheel in place. Now they're going to have to dry before we can use the car. While we're waiting for that to happen, we're going to varnish our car to give it a nice shiny surface. So in here I have some PVA and some water, and I'm going to paint it with my paintbrush all over my car. Now it might make a bit of a drippy mess, so make sure you're doing it on plastic. Just going to paint it all over. Make sure that you cover everything and then leave that to dry. It's going to take at least an hour to dry, but maybe even more. Doesn't have to be a thick layer, but a layer all over, including all the bits that you stuck on. We'll come back and see what that looks like later. Well done. Morning, and we should have a nice, bright, shiny car because of that PVA layer that you put on it. Well done, everybody.